HANA part. So the way
Yeah.
two topics are already covered up, and you can expect like 20 more hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rajat, anything from your side?
Right now, no, sir. But I just shared you one thing that you can let me know, which I shared you on WhatsApp, sir.
That part I have already answered. See, office project we cannot discuss in the trainings now. You need to understand this. I
Okay.
can help you up to some extent, but that is something your senior is working from long period of time on that project. He will be better guiding you that. I hope you are getting this.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. For smaller issues, I can definitely help you there also. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, hi,
Actually,
because
yeah, this type of error I am facing
Yeah, I am.
since how many days? So that's why I'm asking about that.
but that is the process now of checking things.
Yes,
The
yes, yes.
process is like if there is a error message, definitely some wrong data has been sent there. So please check that part. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Morning, Sneha. Okay, guys. So like over the last how many months have been passed up? 3, 4, 5, 6. Like around 4 months, we are learning something, correct?
Yes, true.
Yeah. So lots of things we have seen. One day I downloaded this one. It was like 120 and 30 pages. So definitely lots of things we have gone through. Uh, Wait a second. This is not the thing. TO data services, I have shared the documents. Did I share the document TO data services? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then let's come to HANA. Very interesting. And now it will be really easier to understand why, how, what, everything here.
Just a minute. Sorry. Before moving
Uh,
to HANA, I have two questions. Um, I usually see, for example, in my side, uh, like two topics in the ABAP codes. First one is some ABAPer usually use a variant, for example, TIV or VC, to stock the variant. And the second topic, it's the user exit. Can you just, I don't know if it's
One
possible
thing,
for you.
user
Yeah.
exit, I got this. What was the first one? I don't hear it clearly.
Uh, you know, they usually put some condition in TIVAR VC, TIVAR VC table. It's the variant, they stock their variant there. STVAR V, I don't know if,
Either VC table,
yes, TIVAR
I'm
VC
not
table.
getting that clearly. Are you asking about some table?
No, 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 it's like sometimes for, for if you're talking about API, they put,
Uh,
for example, just I don't know. There's maybe a report, and they want a specific, for example, a specific code for a specific partner. To identify this specific partner, they will use something like it's a variant, and they will stock it in the TVRVC table. Okay.
either VC table.
Mm, I don't know. It's something common for you.
I'm not exactly getting the thing. See, variant, if you are asking, variant is something only for input purpose. Just okay, let it be. We will check on that. Okay. And as for
Okay.
user exit is concerned, that part comes under enhancement and modification. What I have planned exactly, in the end, I will having like 2 or 4 hour session of enhancements. There we
Okay.
will
Okay.
cover that. Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. But let's complete HANA. It's already very delayed, right?
Okay.
So HANA. Okay. Let's come to this because you are a senior person here. So I expect some knowledge on this from your side.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yes, please.
So, so HANA basically, like what I observed, initial days, like we developed a Fury application on top of ECC system, right? They are
Hmm.
using DBs, MySQL, Oracle DB. Now,
Okay.
what they have done, they have included SAP have included HANA DB as their database system. So there, the logic initially, I think the logic whichever they are written, above side, the
Mm-hmm.
processing logic, it will run into the um, present no application layer. Now I think in the present no sorry database layer. Now the
Mm-hmm.
application logic it will run in the application layer itself, so it becomes fast. The response time is fast.
Mm. No, no, no,
Something.
no. You got wrong here. You tried to explain in the same way, but the code logic will run in the HANA side now, not on the
Okay.
application side. That was earlier.
Hmm.
Okay, great. This is definitely one of the most important feature coming out here. Okay, thank you, Vikas. Thank you very much. Let's come to this, guys. So, what is HANA? So, first, HANA full form. So, HANA stands for, again, interview question, high performance analytical appliance. These four words will explain you everything. High performance analytical appliance. It is a appliance. For what purpose? For high performance and mainly for analytical purpose. That's why you here it's a CDS for analytic, SAP Analytics Cloud, BW, Datasphere. Correct? What is HANA? It is an SAP's in-memory database. In-memory database, very important terminology. The first difference you said was definitely correct because we'll come to that. But the second one, in-memory database. What is an in-memory database, guys? An in-memory database, or so you can short form call it IMDb, in-memory database, is a database that stores the data in the computer's main memory. Yeah, like RAM instead of hard disk. That is the concept of a in-memory database. Computer's main memory like RAM instead of hard disk. We will check this part. But the question here is, if it is a database, why am I calling it as a appliance? Why HANA is called an appliance, not a database? Very interesting question coming into picture here. If it is a database, why I am calling it a appliance? A database, let's take an example, MySQL database. It is free to use. I can directly install that software from Google on my local system, and then I can use it in my Java application. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I can do this. But when I'm talking about HANA, the thing is, it is because HANA is not only a software. It's not a software which you can directly install it from any browser and use it directly. It is a combination of both the hardware and software. Yeah. So we cannot directly install it on our computer, directly install it on our computer. What we need? It requires a specialized software. Sorry, not software. It requires a specialized hardware licensed by SAP itself. Without that, it's not possible. By SAP for its installation of HANA. And then we launch it on our servers, then it becomes available for you. That is why even if I am not at its exact location, I'm able to use it. You guys are able to use it, right? So that is why it is called as an appliance. Why? Because it is a combination of both hardware and software, not a software. So it is not directly a database. It's not only a software. That's the thing. Okay, so if we check, so many databases are there across the world. So many database, Oracle, MySQL, Sybase is there. Correct. Lots of databases are running in the market. Then why HANA is getting so popular? So buzzing word in the market. Everybody is interested. What is HANA? I want to learn a web on HANA. I want to learn BW on HANA. I want to learn, let's say, other things, FICO on HANA, MM on HANA for functional also. Correct, Omar, right? Everybody is interested about this terminology, HANA, right? So the question is, why HANA is so popular or so important? What it is doing and getting popular day by day? Yeah, that's the thing I want to understand here. So let's understand. How many of you know this terminology? RDBMS.
Relational database management system.
Yes, relational database management system. This is the very first thing which we learn whenever we discuss the uh, DBMS concept in our college days, correct? So if you check most of the databases, even in my ECC system here, if I show you, let me show you. If I open my ECC system, I don't know whether today it is working or not, but let me check. Mm, I have forgot its credential, but yeah. So if you check this ECC system that I have, and if I check the database, what is the database here? MS SQL, correct? MS SQL database is there. So now if you check this RDBMS concept, what you see, most of the traditional databases, which we call RDBMS today, relational database management systems, stores the data on the hard disk only. Hard disk. Stores the data on the hard disk only. Please understand the system, guys. Which is the brain of the computer? Which is the processor? CPU is the processor. Yeah. This is where your processing is going to be done. This is where your all the operation, all the computation, everything is going to be done. Correct. This CPU is connected with random access memory, RAM. It is connected with RAM. Then this RAM is getting connected with hard disk itself. Hard disk. So if I bring one image from Google, let me show you CPU connection with RAM and RAM connection with hard disk. So if I check one of the image, yeah, not CPU directly do not works with hard disk. Uh, CPU RAM, yeah, data flow. Let me bring this. Yeah, see this part. CPU, Central Processing Unit, the brain of the computer. This guy is connected with RAM. RAM is then connected with the hard disk where your data is permanently stored. So think about this way. If you want to process any data, what you will do, you will bring it from the hard disk to RAM, and then RAM to CPU. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, it will happen. So, guys, let's understand the situation. So, if we are talking about millions of data, let's say 10 million operation, it is a time-taking process. Can I say the performance of the system will not be very good? Will not be very good. So much operation again and again, bringing the data from here to here, here to here. It's taking some time. Definitely, it is taking some time. The performance of the system will not be very good. That is why our DBMS databases do not have so much better performance. That's the thing here. So the problem with SAP was they don't have their own databases. And if you want to exist in the market for a long period of time, you will have to do some innovation that nobody is doing, right? So once they were planning to have their databases, they came with an idea. What they did, they came with an idea. The idea was SAP came with an idea that we are going to store all the records directly on RAM. Directly on RAM. Now think about how landscape has completely changed. Directly on RAM. Yeah, that's what this in-memory database is all about. That instead of storing the data on the hard disk, and it has become a time-consuming process to bring it from our hard disk to RAM and then to CPU itself. So instead of bringing this process, we are now directly going to store the values on the RAM itself. Can I say then by default the efficiency of the system will increase? Yes or no? Can I say this? Can I say this?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yeah,
no,
right.
Amrit. So they will store the data in DB as well as the RAM, right? That is what.
I will come to that. First, understand the thing that, okay? If I am saying that all the working data I'm going to store on the RAM itself, can I say this that the process, the performance will be different? It will increase, correct?
Hmm.
Okay. Don't worry, I'll come to this one also. This has not been removed. There is a way. We'll come to that. Okay. So a question arises in the mind here. Like, how was it possible for SAP to come with this approach? Yeah. Because we know RAM is very costly. Even you see the today's your mobile phone also, you might having 126 GB or 256 GB, but the RAM will be, let's say, 8 GB or 16 GB only, correct? Now we are talking about 2010 or 2012, because this was the time period when they were working on the development part of HANA. Let's go to 2010. At that time, think about this. At that time, if I wanted to purchase a 2 GB of memory also, it was around, let's say, 250 rupees or 350 rupees, correct? So costly things were there. But now, with the same period of time, with the same amount of money, I can buy around 32 GB or 62 GB memory. Am I correct, guys? Was it
Yeah.
at that time? Yeah, because everybody was using mobile phones also at that time. So definitely everybody have idea for this. So how these things became possible? Innovations happening in hardware and software. Two things. Ultimately led the SAP to come with this approach. What are these innovations? Lots of innovations were happening in the market, hardware innovations, and then you have the software innovations. Guys, if you can understand this, definitely you can understand the flow of its designing, how things became possible. Because what these big players are doing in the market now, they usually collaborate with each other so that they can resolve each other's problem and also they can maximize their profit. So the very first example I have already given, that over the period of time, what I see, the cost of memory came down. In 2010, I was buying it for 300 rupees, but now at the same price, I am buying the things for more storage. Yeah. So very first thing, over the period of time, the cost of memory came down drastically, came down drastically. This was an innovation happening in the market. Also, if you check the size of the memories, even the 2 GB memory or 64 GB memory, they have the same size, no difference. So another ability came into market, ability to store or fabricate large space in small chips. Yeah. So lots of companies are there in the market like Intel. Intel is there. Let's say Intel. Oh, Intel. Sony is there who is developing memories. You might have heard Seagate company, etc. are currently really good players in this market. So are currently developing the memories which are, let's say, which are equal to our nails in size, but can store up to terabytes of space. That is the beauty of these memories. Very small in nature, but they can store very large amount of space. Yeah, this was another thing. When we were working on ECC system, CPU, if you recall, it was a one-way CPU, only one operation at a time. But over the period of time, multi-core CPU came into picture, multi-core. And each core of this CPU is a CPU itself. That is, it can perform on its own. It can perform a operation. So it is a CPU in itself, which can work independently. Yeah, which can work independently and parallelly also. So earlier one operation was being performed. Now at the same time, multiple operation can be executed. Yeah. So this thing also came into picture, multi-core CPU. So one CPU now can perform multiple operations at the same time, multiple execution of tasks. Another innovation within the CPU, they added caches memory, so we can process the data in the caches also. Yeah. Not only multi-core CPU, guys, not only I'm talking about multi-core CPU, but they also came, this innovation also happened, like capability to connect multiple CPUs. Yeah, capabilities to connect multiple CPUs. So take example, suppose I say I have, what should I say, 8 octa-core processor, octa-core processor. Just take example here, processor, 8 octa-core. So one processor will have 8 core here, definitely. And now total I have 8 octa-core. So can I say this, that we can perform 8 into 8 if they are combined together, 64 operations in one go, in 1 nanosecond. If one operation is taking 1 nanosecond, so can I say in 1 nanosecond I can perform 64 operations at the same time? So this capability also came into picture. Earlier there was no option for backup, no backup. If because of any issue there is a power failure, then we were simply losing all the data. So this thing also came into picture, powerful UPS devices for power backups. So these hardware companies started to make some innovation, and what SAP did, they simply did collaboration with them. They simply did collaboration with them so that they can use their product at a minimum amount. Second thing, software innovation. Everyone, is this hardware innovation clear? Or any questions here? Omar, it's okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So now if I talk about this software innovation, lots of changes came into picture here also. Compression. That is, we can compress the data and store it. So this automatic feature is there. We can compress the data and store it into a small set of memory, that you see zip file is there. We zip the zip, whenever we zip any file, its space got reduced, automatically it will be reduced. So it into a small set of memory, and there will be no loss of data. This is another beauty here. So compressing the data do not causes any loss of memory. Data do not causes any loss of memory. That is another thing here. Interesting, very interesting interview question. Storing the data in row store and column store. We will discuss it in detail. Column store. That also came into picture. That also came into picture. Another interview question, data aging. Because what is data aging?
Not able to recall them.
No issue. Anyone here? Data aging. Think about this. Okay, what does aging means?
If it's
Something
get
which is
old,
getting old. Yeah,
yeah.
right. So what if we are talking about a technical concept? So if there is a data which is not ever updated updated, inserted, deleted from a very long period of time, let's say from, for example, from 10 to 15 years, then it is unnecessary to store it on RAM. If we are talking about HANA here, it's unnecessary to store it on RAM. But we can do, because this data is simply eating up space. So in the same way, HANA has been designed. If there is some kind of data, so it is unnecessary to store it on RAM. We can simply send it on hard disk, because it is neither causing any performance issue, it is only eating of our space. So that also came into picture. So HANA has been designed based on the timestamp. If some kind of data which is not being used for a long period of time, automatically the data will be transferred to hard disk. Database caching and database sectioning. Let me show you some magic. Let's get back to our very first session or second session. I will go to SAP our employee table. How many of you recall this technical setting? How many of you recall this data class?
Yeah.
That time what I said, SAP has divided the databases into multiple parts. So this was a innovation also happening. Instead of storing all the data at the same place, we do not store the data at the same place or randomly here and there, but instead we group them. So for example, what I can do, for example, we can group data like master data and transaction data together, and then we can store them in a separate section. So only master and transaction data will be there. We don't need to store analytical data there. Yeah. So that was another innovations happening in the market. So with all these innovations, note point here, with all these innovations happening in the market, what SAP did collaboration with all these big MNCs. Yeah. And they came with their own in-memory database, mainly for analytical purpose. Earlier, it was developed mainly for analytical purpose only. I will come to this, how it went to writing part also, but it was mainly for analytical purpose. Yeah, mainly for analytical purpose, where we can store all the active, which is working in nature, active data on the RAM, and all the old or dead data can be simply stored on the hard disk. Yeah, that is the thing here. That's what happened. That's what happened for this HANA. That's why you hear HANA is so costly, because it is working on RAM only. So as a result, the performance, because we are working on real-time data. If the performance is not up to the mark, definitely there will be a loss for the company. SAP did not wanted themselves to get obsolete. So with the period of time, even they are working on cloud. They came with this cloud with like recently, because they realized if we are not moving to cloud, eventually we will got obsolete. So as a result, the performance of the ERP system got increased with HANA coming into picture. That is the one way. We will see some lots of features slowly, gradually. Are you all
But
getting?
it is also very risky, right, Amrit, to store all the data, the actual data, right, in a RAM. Because if anyhow, somehow the RAM got crashed, right? So we'll lose the data as well as, right?
So no. See, early I know what you were saying. RAM is a volatile memory. Correct. I
Yeah.
got that part.
Mm,
But the thing is, that is not how actually things works here. There are lots of backup ways.
mm,
Okay, there is always a backup. Your basis team is taking backup every week.
mm.
It's all about performance optimization. If there is some issue, there is a, if let's say there is some, because of any power failure or anything, data got crashed out, the backup is already there of the last week. They will restore it. It's all about performance now. If today I am saying work on 1G, will you work? Everybody is working on 5G. You will never, nobody is interested even on 4G also at this moment. Everybody wants 5G only. Correct? It's all about speed, performance, optimization. That's the same thing from day one I'm telling you. Why Fiori? Because if you check the module pool programming, it's so old, not providing user experience, very slow in nature. Fiori is interesting. Check the BTP platform, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the thing, guys. That's the reason how HANA is so different from other databases. Rest every database is still working on relational database management system. Yeah, the old way of storing data on the hard disk.
So, is it following the Aarti architecture in HANA as well as?
Architect, yes, architecture is same. R3
Mm,
is
mm,
there. Version changed. So because of S4HANA will come to S4HANA also. So because of changing version, way of programming has changed, but R3 is same. There will
okay.
be a presentation, there will be a application, but that application layer will now be getting integrated with Eclipse tool.
Mm, mm, mm. Correct.
And so the thing will change. Now, Eclipse will now become a bridge for connection of application layer and database layer on the same place. That's how your uh, the new way of programming is going to be done. That's how all the operation will be directly done on HANA layer itself. Application layer, the work on the load on the application layer will be decreased. What do you think? So much investment. Why a company will invest hundreds of crore on this if they are only getting an in-memory database? No, that is just one feature of it. That is just one feature. Let's come to the second feature. Let's come to the second feature. Row store versus column store. Row store versus column store. What does it means? Okay, how many of you have heard about this?
I heard long back actually.
Okay,
So this is in the sum of SE11 also in the SE11 T code technical setting.
Yeah, it is there. I'll come to this here only.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So before explaining this, let me tell you something. HANA uses column store technique to store the data. HANA uses column store technique to store the data. Let's discuss it. Let's discuss it, guys. Let's understand the thing. It's all about comparison, and it's all about if we are taking 5 huge cases of it, which one is giving us more performance and which one we should use in what scenario. Row store and column store. Think about this. Let's take one example. So if you check most of the traditional databases, again another comparison, traditional databases uses row store to store the data, to store the data. So let me take some example here. So suppose I have, let's say 6 records. Let's see this, 6 records for sales order, 6 record, and we have, let's say 5 columns there. So there you have these 5 columns, sales order number, sold to party, material number, amount, and currency. 5 columns are there. So if I am using a row store, I will be using like this way. 10,000 is sales order. Then I have sold to party 1, material 1. Just take example, guys. Amount, some currency, US dollar. Then if this row is not yet filled, I will go for the next record also. So 10,000, 1, sold to party 2, material 2, and 600, let's say amount, INR. If the row is yet not filled, I will go for the next record also. So like this way, sold to party 3, mat 3, amount, let's say 700, this time euro. Next record, 10,003, sold to party 4, material 4, amount, let's say 800, INR. Next record, 10,005, sorry, 10,004, sold to party 5, material 5, amount as 800 or 900 INR. And the last one, 10,005, sold to party 6, material 6, 1,000 here, or let's say 100 rupees, and USD. Total 6 records. This I have stored in row store. Row store means once a particular row of the database will be filled, we will be storing all the records one by one. So my first record is this one. Let's mark it as highlighted. Second record is this one. Yeah. Third record is this thing. This is the fourth record, fifth and sixth. Okay. So here we have 6 records. Now I have one question here. I want to find out what is total sales amount here. That is, what is the total amount? I want to calculate the total amount of all the rows. Rajat, how will I do this?
So in row store, it might be difficult.
No. You are not getting that. I just asked, I want to calculate the total sales amount. Please answer this much only. Don't go for it is difficult or easier.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Um, We have to say add all the amounts.
Okay. So let's understand this, guys. If I want to find out total sales amount, what I will do, I don't know where is my column, so I will start it from here, correct? I will go to this. I found out my very first total sales amount. I will take it. Then I will go for this. I got the second one. I will take this. Again, same. I got this one. Then again, and then I got this one. Yeah. Can you see this? So even if I want to perform one operation on a column, because I could have directly added all the columns together. So even if I want to perform one operation on a particular column, I am still scanning all the, what should I say, all the cells, all the fields. Yes or no? Please answer this. Even if I have to perform a operation on a particular column, still I am scanning each and every field. Yes, because this is how things will happen. So if you are working, if your compiler or your SAP system is working on something, definitely it's a time consuming process. So it will definitely decrease the performance. SAP thought about all the aspect. Yeah, that is the thing. Now another question. Say this. I want to find out select a star. I want to go for select a star. Select a star means I need every record. I need everything. I need this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I need every possible thing here because everything is there in a ordered format. This will become my very first row. After that, I will continue for the next row. Then I will continue for the next row. So can I say this select a star will be easier here? Think about this. Don't go for any other way. Just try to understand in the same way as I'm writing here. Every aspect will be clear within some time. But please take these two examples. If I am saying if I want to perform a operation on a particular column, it is getting a lengthier. It is getting lengthier. It is taking a lot of time. But if I am going for select a star, it is easier. No, you all are mathematical students. I think it is not a very difficult question here. Correct? Everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's store everything in the column store and let's see what's the problem there and what are the benefits there. If I am storing it everything as a column store here, 3, 4, total 6 reports were there. So 6. This will be 1000. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one will be 5. This sold to party 1, 3, 4, 5, and the last one 6. Same thing will be applied to this one and this one. Some amount also, let's say 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. And this INR currency alternate to US dollar. This as euro, this dollar. And last one as euro. Column wise, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. Same question now I will ask for these two purpose. What is the total sales amount here? Same question I will ask. So can I say this? I will go to my first, second, third, and fourth column directly. And can I directly perform aggregate operation here? What are the aggregate functions that we have? Sum is there,
Some.
max, min.
Yes.
Everybody know this. This is a mathematical operation. Average is there and count is there. So
Yes.
5 aggregate functions are there. So if I have to perform a operation on a column, I can directly go to that column and I can directly check everything directly, a sum operation. I don't need to go for any other cell now here. So can I write this? It will be relatively very easier for us to perform aggregate function in column store. It will increase the performance, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Think, guys, think in the same way. Then we will go for other aspect also. It's all about comparison only here. Now let's go for the same thing. Select star here also. Select star. Select star means one by one each row I need. So think about this way. I went to first column. I got my very first one 10,000. Then I went for the next column. I got this. Then I got this. Then I got this. Then I got this. My first row I have. Then I need to go for the second row. So I will come back and then I will again this one. Then I will go to this. I got it. So I will come back here. I will come back here. I will go to next column. Then I will go to this. I will come back. I will go to next column. Then I will go to this. I will come back. Then I will go to the next column. I will come to this. This. Same in the third way. I will come back. First column. I will go to the third one. So can you see this unnecessary? Again, we are touching everything. Even after we had already used it. If I have to perform select star, can I simply write it here? Row store is more beneficial or select star? Yes or no? Can I
Yes.
say this? Definitely. That's why I have written it in the same format a database is designed so that we can compare it easily. We can compare it easily. Now here with the two comparison coming into picture, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. Here we need to understand which store is more beneficial and why. Beneficial. Yeah, I want to ask a question here. Let's open our system. I am going for suppose BSEC table, very big table. Oh, I think system has been logged out. Let me reopen.
I think for logical operation, a column store will be beneficial.
Yes,
Uh,
we will discuss it. Yeah, I totally understand you are getting this, but let's understand it in an easier way. So BSEC, how many things are there? 452, or let it be our tables which we have used it in the training, VBAK. 258 columns. My question is, did we ever used select star on VBAK table? Did we need to use all these 258 columns ever? Or you guys have been working for 15-20 years. Tell me, have you ever used sales order header tables? Have you ever used all the columns of sales order header table in any project?
no.
I don't think so it is going to happen. At max, even what happens in any project at max, because these tables has been created for all the aspect. So at max around 10 to 30 columns from each table will be used. Correct? At max, I'm saying each, and we have still 258 columns. So we don't need everything, correct? So never ever use select star. Select star. Never ever use select star. So with this, I can directly write here. In most of the cases, we do not require. It's all about comparison. If I am saying that 60% it is giving me, it has 16% advantage and 40% disadvantage, then still it is more beneficial for me. Yes, right? So in most of the cases, we do not require to use the select star. So it is always advisable to go for to use the column store tables DB or database. Now see this, the column store tables are faster in reading data. So if you have to perform any operation on a particular column, just go for it, guys. Reading data, because I can, instead of select star, never use select star, go for column wise, like select Veblen. We will see the new syntax right now. Just I'm adding the commas. It is go for column wise, then it is okay. Even select star will not never give you any error, but it is not performance friendly. So reading data, here we have easy to perform aggregate function, perform aggregate functions. Yeah. Another important benefit. Now we do not need to create any secondary indexes. Rather, tell me, where did we hear this? Secondary indexes. Where did we seen this and where did we created it?
Sir, in um, indexes.
Omar, do you recall this index? Primary and secondary indexes.
Yeah, in table we have created,
In
Amrit.
primary keys are automatically primary index. We have already discussed it. Secondary index is based on the requirement we used to create.
Hmm.
Now with HANA coming into picture, we do not need to create any secondary indexes. What will happen? We can use the columns itself as a secondary index, because we can fetch the data column wise. We know indexes takes memory on the database layer, so this one will save space. Yeah. In column store, there is massive parallel processing. It is easier relatively for operational part, for reading part. So there is a massive parallel processing. So what SAP did with SAP HANA coming into picture, SAP chose optimized column store. And if you see, what does analytical means? Whenever I am saying the word analytical here, where it is? analytical. Whenever I'm saying the word analytical, read operations. This is analytical analysis. You are, let's say, even if you read any book, what you do based on that written data, you create your own thoughts. Correct? That is just analysis. Correct? So SAP chose optimize column store, making HANA as the most efficient database for real-time data processing.
Is it better than Oracle also? Oracle DB, Amit?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Whenever, no, no, see, there is a thing you need to understand. We
Hmm.
are always we are always comparing ERP real-time data. It's only about ERP's real-time data. Rest other datas I'm not comparing here.
Hmm. Hmm.
When you go for real-time ERP data processing, HANA is the most efficient. I have Oracle DB in my system also, but it has become a part of ECC now.
ECC
So
we do
it's,
have, yeah, Oracle
yeah,
initially.
that's the thing. So that's why now if you check, so earlier in ECC, every database, every table was on row store, but in HANA, they have turned every table into column store. Same thing. What you have said, Rajat, was now you can check. Correct. Go for standard tables. Let's say I'm going for BSEG itself. Undefined simply means that by default you are telling system based on that, based on your choice, you can select any one of them. So only row and column store are two options on our SAP GUI. Yeah, that's the thing here. So please, that's a request. If you are going for writing any queries, go for column wise, never go for select star. That's why into corresponding field, if you recall, when we have written there in our OData services, I told I will explain why we don't go for this select star anymore. Because column store is not designed for select star purpose. Because you're getting that, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, guys, here. That's the thing. Also, in ECC, we had pooled and cluster tables, which were not much effective performance wise because they have one-to-one relationship. So they also became obsolete. And in SAP HANA, we have only transparent tables. Transparent tables. That's the thing here also. We have only transparent tables. So there are certain things you need to understand, like you guys might be confused. Then if I am creating my custom tables, should I go for row store or should I go for column store? So when to choose if you are creating for custom table? Standard, we know they are all of them are there in row, most of them are there in column store only. So when to choose row store and when to choose column store? Choose column store. That's the thing here. Let's come to this. Yeah, when we are going to choose what. So again here, one row store and then column store. Guys, definitely if you are going to attend any ABAP on HANA interview, this one will be one question always. Row store, go to data paradigm, what is HANA, why HANA, how things are working, new ABAP syntaxes, CDS, AMDP, all these things will definitely be a part of question there. So row store are mostly optimized. If you see this, column store are mostly optimized for analytical purpose, that is read operation, for read operations. So if your table or if you want to, let's say we are comparing these two things. So if you want to mostly perform read operation, then go for column store. Then go for column store. If your table, if you will be performing more write operation than read, then go for what should I say? Row store only. Yeah, that's the thing here. Second case. What you see here now in ERP system, why they chose column store was in ERP. If you take a comparison, most of the time or most of the ERP operations, like around 70%, that is the data given by SAP, are read operations only. Or let's take example of our training itself. What we were doing, we were following those traditional concept: creation of structure, declaration of internal table and work area, writing the select queries. Very rarely we were performing any modification and we were displaying the data to the user. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So right, because if you take a comparison, so most around 70% of the operations are read operations only. Even if we are going for create purpose, still we are using the get entity URI,
Hmm,
right? Because
correct.
so that is a way we are taking a case of ERP and we are comparing. If 70% operations are ERP itself, then for 30%, why should I go for row store? Column store is more beneficial for me. Yeah. So when data volume is very high, so if your table will have very large number of records, very large number of records like VBA, sales order, BSEC tables. So if your table will have large number of records, go for column store. If the data volume is low, of table is low, then it do not matters whether it is a row store or column store. Almost it will be similar. So if
Uh,
data volume is
Amrit,
uh,
this write operation, sorry for
uh,
interrupting. This write operation, what operation you are considering write operation? Just
write operation, insertion, updation.
okay.
I will come to this. Okay, don't worry, I will
Hmm.
come to this. Write, let's say, what does write means? Writing something. So if we have our employee table itself, if we are adding the data, will that become write operation? Yes or no? So whenever, again, let's take a ERP operation. Only two things are there, either write or read. Delete things are very rare. Very rarely we perform the delete operation. So let's go for read and write only. This is what your analytical,
Yeah, clear, Amit. Yeah, right.
which we have BW, data sphere, SSE, all these things. So SAP do not created this database only for ABAP point of view where we want to only create some record and store it. They have created it for all the aspect, all the possible aspect. Even on BTP, the mostly used database is this one also. They have also added the PostgreSQL also there, Postgre database. So if the data volume is too low, better go for row store. Or if you want to use select star, this one you can try. Yeah. Okay. Also see this. If you have large number of large number of unique records, this is an interesting thing. Unique records, then the compression of data will not be very high. Compression of data. I will explain this. Because compression is more if we have more repeated or duplicate values. Yeah. So then we should use row store. Okay, everyone, please read this and explain me what I have written here. Because please go through this. What I have written. If we have more number of unique records, that simply means if we have more primary keys, then compression will not be very high because compression is more if we have more repeated or duplicate records. What is a compression here? Just explained a new feature in software innovation, compression. We can compress the data and store it easily. But you check the tables, guys. You go and check your tables. My VBAK table, where it is. Let me reopen the system. Let me reopen the system. I'm going for VBAK table again. Sales order header. If I check this, how many prime? Just see the duplicate record here. AUART, TRVOG, VBTYP. This one. Eh, See this. See this. So if you check your tables, most of them have only repeated and duplicate records, only except primary keys. Am I correct?
Yeah.
If you check any of the standard tables, we usually take the reference of standard tables only to understand any concept. What does compression means? When data is getting stored in the database, if it is duplicate, if the rows are duplicate, by default, HANA has been designed in the same format that they can compress it and store it in an easy manner. Like for ERNUM, why we need to store so many values? If we know we have only this Ranjan 1, Ranjan 01 is getting repeated, okay, then use only Ranjan 01 once. Why should we store it multiple times? This is how it has been designed. So if number of unique values are very high, compression will be low, no problem, go for row store. But if you have here now in SAP, most tables, what you would see, most of the data are duplicate and replicate repeated values. So compression is will be more, and in small space we can store we can store more data. So in that situation, we should opt for column store. This is for your custom table only. Standard tables are by default column store. Yeah. Standard tables are by default column store only. Now tell me this question. Will you all will be able to explain the difference between row store and column store? Why row store or column store? What is HANA? What are the basic features? How HANA has been designed? Tell me this one. Or is there any confusion yet on this? Omar, are you there, Omar?
Yes, Amarit, I'm here.
It is okay.
Yes, it is okay.
Aviram,
Uh,
what about you?
just a just a question,
Yes,
Amarit. The
uh,
the logic will not change in the ABAP coding. I mean,
definitely
by row
not.
by column, it will be the same.
It will be same. But the thing is, if you are performing the best programming practices, then there is no issue. If you are using the best programming practices that I am suggesting or that SAP is suggesting, then definitely no problem is there. Even in new syntax is coming into picture. What SAP has told, no problem. You can use your old syntax till the ABAP is going to be there. That will still be
Okay.
working perfectly in the same way. But perhaps you might not get that much efficiency. So you need to start migrate yourself, or you need to start learning the new ABAP syntax that will be more beneficial or easier.
Clear.
Okay. Aviram, is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Neha,
Yes, sir.
Vikas, Rajat, now is
Yeah,
it okay?
clear.
Sir.
Very interesting thing, guys. This is definitely one question. It's a certification call question also, and it is an interview question. Definitely you expect this one. So this is the way you explain the only thing that matters, correct? Because it doesn't matter how much you have worked on projects, how much you have worked on anything. If you are not able to explain anything, they will consider you that you don't know.
Yeah, correct.
Hmm. Okay, now we are a app developers. So with HANA coming into picture, how life of an web developer is changing. Developer changes with HANA coming into picture. Yeah. How our way of programming will be changed completely now. So we know we have three-tier architecture. Almost every technology is working on three-tier architecture. Presentation, application, database, or some people in Fury you say MVC architecture is there, model view controller, correct? So we have three-tier architecture here. There you see your presentation layer, application layer, application layer, and your DB layer, which have now turned into HANA. Yeah. So let's see how things are changing before and after. Before HANA and after HANA. After HANA. So can I simply say this, that till now, what we were doing? We were using selection screen, selection screen. We were going for select star from DB table or column also from DB table and storing it in I tab, which is internal table. This is what we were doing. We were looping. So loop at I tab into work area. Yeah. Display the data in ALV format. The data in ALV format. Update or delete operation. Yeah, even after on ALV, we are making it editable and then committing the changes back to DB. Are we or were we following the same thing again and again? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Correct, right? We were doing the same thing. If you see this, if you see here, we can see most of our logical, say this, logical and processing part are being done on the application layer only. Application layer only. And we are using the DB layer very less. Very less. We are using this DB layer very less. What we are using DB layer? We just use this for this purpose. Bring the data only for storing the data, REST selection screen, query, internal table, loop, work area, display, ALV, update, all the things we are performing where? On the application layer. Was this our way of programming? Yes or no? Yeah. This programming paradigm is called data to code paradigm. Another interview question. Data to code. I wrote a select query. I brought the data to application layer where my code will be written. And then I'm performing all these operations. This programming paradigm is called data to code paradigm. Yeah. Data to code paradigm. Is this terminology correct or not? Data to code. If we see the way of our programming technique. Because is this correct?
Yeah, we are bringing the
Right?
data and yeah, correct.
Now with addition of HANA, our purpose has changed completely. Has become to utilize the DB layer more effectively, and for most logical and analytical part. Logical and analytical part. Everything only on DB layer itself. So the load on our application layer will be eventually will decrease and it will start giving more better user experience. We want to increase all the load on the DB layer itself. Why? Because it is working on in-memory database, so powerful database. It any number of load you can increase on it. That is why it has been designed, HANA. So here we will only be sending some few things only, like input kind of thing from application layer to DB layer, and all the processing, or better I should say not all, most of the processing part will only be done on the database layer itself. Yeah. Why? So some people will think if we are increasing so much of load on the database layer, so will it decrease the performance of the DB itself? No, definitely not. If you see the way we discuss the thing, HANA is more powerful, and it has multi-core CPUs. It can perform multiple operations to pair together, multi-core, even multiple octa-core processor combined together, CPUs. And since data is also there, so performing the computation and processing will be relatively more faster. It's all about efficiency. And then final outcome we will return will come back to application layer and transferred to user. This is how things are going to work. This programming paradigm you will be calling paradigm will be known as or will be called as code to data paradigm. Third feature of HANA here, other than in-memory row store, code to data paradigm. Code to data paradigm. So what you are going to do here, you will be sending your code intensive logic directly to HANA layer for execution. So whenever you are talking about HANA, you need to understand we are going to work on column store, we are going to work on code to data paradigm. So in-memory database, all the computation or perhaps around 90 to 95% of the work of your how your application works is going to be worked under HANA layer itself. Any questions? Guys, I am explaining the theoretical way of these things in a easier way so that my only goal here you should understand the concept. Then we should go for practical part. Yeah, code to data paradigm. Any questions here? Or is it clear? Because code to data paradigm. We will understand how things are going to work in a way. We will see that part slowly, eventually. But please start moving towards HANA now. Start reducing your dependency from GUI. GUI is not going to help you for a long period of time. Again, the market of SAP is very different. They are very slow towards the changes, but you need to understand if something SAP is promoting and if you are not learning, then eventually it will be a loss for yourself, not for SAP. Yeah, yeah. So if I
Yeah.
show you, yes, yes, tell me.
Amrit, just wanted to understand one thing.
Uh,
So earlier before HANA, we do have a one DB. So
yes,
that DB can be Oracle or MySQL,
anything.
whatever it
Yes,
is.
yes, can be
Then
anything.
our native GUI is the our application layer, right?
Yes, yes.
And Fury is our presentation layer.
Fury has now become the presentation layer.
Okay, okay. So the earlier, what will be our presentation GUI? Is the our
Mm,
presentation layer.
Okay.
And what is our application layer in that?
See,
Hmm,
if you check the GUI, two things are there.
hmm,
Application layer and presentation layer, both of them were combined. They are working on the GUI itself. One side was your presentation layer where your module pool program or your ALV
hmm.
reports were working as a presentation part to the user. Because if you are
Correct.
executing, they were only seeing the selection screen. And based on that,
In
they were
backend
passing
program and
input.
all. Yeah. Hmm.
And there is a separate application in the backend which is working that will be interacting with the database layer to bring
Hmm,
the data via the SAP server.
hmm, hmm,
But now here what you are going to see from the browser, here you will be sending there on your SAP application server. That application server will be working connected via Eclipse tool. Eclipse is a very interesting thing. Let me just show some future part. What this
hmm.
Eclipse is doing now. If this is a Eclipse tool, this is connected with application server. How it will be connected, I will come to that. And this is connected with HANA DB on the same place. Yeah, on the same place. So directly on Eclipse tool, now both these things will be available for you. That's what your code to data paradigm is all about. You are sending your intensive logic directly to HANA layer for execution. I will come to this. Okay. So now just see this, how table had changed completely. If you try to open on the Eclipse, if I'm trying to open the GUI part here, let me just show you. Just a sample case here. If I'm going to SE11 here, if I'm opening any of the standard table, let's say I'm opening VBAK or VBAP table, display, see the view, how it will be open. This is the backend and this is the CDS language. CDS language. So they have turned everything into this language only. We will come to this later on. Right now, we need to understand the basic part. We'll go on that part later on. So they have changed completely the way of programming. This GUI will not exist in the future. Still, I am say I'm confident for like 15 to 20 years GUI will be there. But because the market is same, nobody wants the change. Everybody is comfortable with the things they are working. But those who want to earn more, those who want to go for the new way of things, they will have to eventually learn every possible aspect. Because are you okay now? Yeah, are you okay? I don't get you. You are on mute, I
Yes,
believe.
Amit. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, this is all for today. Tomorrow we will see some more aspect, OLAP, OLTP tools. Even I will show the HANA architecture. I will break it down for you so that you can understand HANA, how HANA has been designed and why it is not only a database, not just one component of it. HANA itself is a application server in itself. You can execute program directly there. So we will discuss that part. If there is any question for today, please do ask right now. Rajat, Vikas, Sneha, Aviram, Omar, anything? No?
No, sir. No, sir.
No,
Okay.
no, thank you.
There is one request from my side, guys. I will try to cover each and every aspect, but if you are not practicing, then that is something which I cannot help. You need to understand you have invested so much amount, so you will have to practice it again and again so that you can become undefeatable. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, then. Thank you very much. See you all tomorrow, same time. Bye bye.
Thanks, all.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.